is the agency that's leading the Farmers Market Hub project, but they're collaborating with everyone from our organization to County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency.
They're in the deal.
And they're working with the Farm Bureau as well.
Are there any limitations on getting that food into school and USDA? I mean, I'm sure the USDA would be some pushback.
Sort of and sort of not. It depends how creative you are. Foods in school are kind of complicated. The best way to describe where the complications come is that there is actually a minimum calorie allowance. They have to provide a certain, not a maximum, a minimum calorie allowance. They also have to make sure that no more of that food, than I think 30% is coming from fat. The calories are coming from fat. A certain percentage of the food calories can come from sodium. So, but there's no stipulation on sugar. And to provide healthy foods, everyone's head pops up. To try to meet the allowance for fat and for sodium, what's happening, and to also hit the minimum calorie count, is that they're adding sugar.
How high is the minimum calorie count exactly?
Now, I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that. I could definitely find
It's
out.
about 700 to 800 calories a meal.
What?
But it's supposed to be a third of their daily recommended value of calories. So what's happening is that's legislation at the federal level. That it's not legislation at the state or local level.
And that's being worked on right now. But
Yes.
Who knows if it's going to...
I think it'll change, but not as drastically as we want to in the next Child Nutrition Act. So there's issues like that. There's reimbursement, where, you know, if a child is on a free meal program, it's about $2.59 reimbursement. However, probably the maximum amount that's actually going to food in a school is about $1, because cafeterias are really separated out from the rest of the school, so they can't use any of the other resources in general, not always, but in general, from the school. So that means they have to sustain themselves completely. They have to pay for their workers, they have to pay for their health insurance if they provide it, which is rare because often they're understaffed anyway. They also have to provide for their heating, their equipment. There's a lot of different things that go into those reimbursement rates for those meal programs. But a lot of good things are coming in the next Child Nutrition Act. They're really looking at how do they start more farm-to-institution programs, how do they provide federal funding for the equipment that food services are actually using. They're trying to increase reimbursement rates. They're also looking at universal provisions so that all schools will be provided a free meal. All students will be provided a free meal, opposed to just free and reduced lunch meal participants. And what that basically means is I think that will go a long way of the better participation that a school food service director has in their meal program, the more resources they have to work with to provide a healthier meal. It's kind of, you know, how having more money makes it more available to them to be more flexible with the funding. Another thing that we've noticed is a key lever for change, besides the Farmers Market Hub, a Growers Collaborative, is really getting some of these institutions to start making these procurement changes, whether it's a healthcare system, which has a lot of flexibility. It does not run like a school food service. School food services really can do this, even though I painted a pretty dark picture. There really is a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of food service directors in San Diego County that are already making a lot of these changes. Gary Patel just released from San Diego Unified School District an RFP that allows him to start sourcing whole fruit from local farmers. It's a small step, but it's definitely in the right direction, and he has vision to really change the school food environment. There is a school up in Escondido that they've really overhauled the whole food system. Everything is made from scratch. They're actually running in black, and they're looking at how can they start sourcing locally.
What school is that?
It's Escondido Union High School District. So there are some stipulations in federal guidelines that if you process local foods more than just washing them, they kind of lose their local status in your bidding contracts. So they don't necessarily allow you to give preference to local foods. And at one time, there was a complete bar on giving preference to local food, and that changed in the last Child Nutrition Act. But really, creativity of the staff at charge and what they can and cannot do. I want to,
Oh, this working group, does that working group exist?
yes.
And can you give a list of who's in that?
Off the top of my head, I can give it to you. Right now it's a pretty small group, and so it's the San Diego Farm Bureau, the San Diego Hunger Coalition, County Public Health, the Office of Supervisor Ron Roberts, my organization. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anyone. I don't think so, but they're getting ready. This is kind of the consulting group to start this work, but they're really getting ready to open it up to the community as well. In the needs assessment, they really wanted to figure out where they wanted to prioritize issues around, and then they'll be building in technical expertise from the community itself. I'm going to kind of skip over some of the things, but we are threading these through each of our work groups. Each of our individual domains has a specific role that they can play in this work. Whether it's governments and cities really looking at their land use policies to incorporate urban agriculture, or to make sure that businesses that can process local foods are able to get started, making sure that they can make the permitting process available to them, our healthcare, our schools, procuring local foods, working with them to make this a reality, and really addressing each of the challenges as they come. But for next steps for the community, again, the San Diego Food Systems Working Group is going to be developing an action plan. We're going to start reaching out to different individuals in the community that have expertise, whether it's from the restaurant community or it's farmers, to really make sure that we're accurately assessing the issue in San Diego County, and then developing an action plan for how we can move towards a regional food system in San Diego. The community is putting Prevention to Work grant. Specifically, we were awarded funds to promote working with 3 different cities in San Diego County to develop community garden policies and permits that are affordable and allow residents to easily access the system. We know that it's been a tremendous issue in San Diego. I think right now what it's set at is about $2,000 for the permit to start a community garden in San Diego, so we hope to, five? Okay. We're really hoping
That's
to,
the down payment.
okay. We're really hoping to draw that down and to make something realistic. In the community that I formerly came from, we could access land for $1 through a land bank in our area. So there's some really identifying kind of the key best practices. For school gardens, they're very easy to get started, but the issue is sustainability. So we're really trying to look at how can we work with schools to create joint use policies that allow community members to come in and to also help maintain that garden, and how to build sustainable relationships with community organizations like Aging and Independent Services and after-school programs, so that they can receive proper training to be able to work in those school garden settings. We're also working on a resident leadership academy model that would really focus on training the community and how to get engaged in these issues to make change in their neighborhoods. Another thing that we're doing as part of the community and school garden model is we'll be working with Victory Garden San Diego, which Richard is a part of, to really create training centers so that if residents wanted to be equipped to either manage a community garden, to work with a school garden, or to just learn how to grow food in their backyard or community garden, that they would also be able to get those tangible skills on an ongoing basis in San Diego County. Again, my organization, we've integrated this into all of our domains. We're continually looking at what are new opportunities to really support sustainable foods in San Diego and to make change happen. That's in my presentation, so if you have any questions.
I have an idea that I believe that would definitely help. The idea is that if we help people that are obese and sick, the first place they go is the medical field. And if we can help educate the doctors on nutrition and help them educate the public as they come to them, instead of giving them pills and getting them on medication and helping that sort, why not help them with healthy foods, healthy nutrition diets? Chances are the people are sick because they don't